ever get that feeling?
Mm.
Like something's just not right,
Yeah.
even when everyone around you seems totally fine.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of the feeling at the heart of this story, the one we're diving into today.
Right.
It's a rough one.
Definitely it sends chills down your spine just thinking about it.
Yeah.
This case from Wales back in 2010,
Okay.
it's about a teenager, seemed ordinary, named Joshua Davies,
Oh.
brutally murdered 15-year-old Rebecca Aylward.
So we've got court transcripts, interviews,
You've given us a lot to work with.
even excerpts from Rebecca's mom's memoir.
Yeah, it really paints a heartbreaking picture.
Yeah, complex too.
But for sure.
So before we get into all the awful stuff,
Right.
what was Rebecca like?
Okay, so Rebecca, he called her Becca. Family and friends,
Yeah.
she was bright, compassionate.
Good student.
Oh, yeah, loved reading and writing.
Wow.
Even dreamed of becoming a barrister.
Huh, like a lawyer.
Exactly.
So ambitions, smart.
Definitely her mom described her as inquisitive,
That's great.
always willing to help others.
Like a little mom to her siblings.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah, sounds like a truly special person.
She really was.
How'd she meet this Joshua Davies?
So, 2008, they met,
Okay.
and he was at their home a lot, actually.
Really?
Yeah, became a regular presence.
So no warning signs, red flags, nothing.
Well, that's what's interesting.
Sure.
Sonia, Rebecca's mom,
Yeah.
liked Josh.
Initially?
At first, yeah, he was polite, had good manners.
Well, seems like a good kid.
Seemed that way, came from a family they knew, so no obvious concerns, really.
But you mentioned this, like, unsettling feeling Sonia had?
Right, right.
What was that about?
Well, if we step back for a second, it shows how complicated these teenage relationships are
Oh, yeah?
and how tough it is for parents
Yeah,
to
definitely.
see the trouble, you know?
Absolutely.
Sonia, she'd remember little things later.
What?
Having her younger son put toys away,
Okay.
anything that could, like, be a weapon whenever Josh was around,
That's unsettling.
isn't it?
Like mother's intuition,
Baby sensing danger.
even when it's not obvious.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there was this one thing, big red flag, looking back.
Okay, what happened?
They were watching TV show about the KKK.
Oh.
And Josh, he makes this comment,
Yeah.
totally racist, saying he wants to join.
Oh, my God.
Even Becca, she tried to play it down.
No.
But she scolded him for it.
I mean, how did everyone miss this?
It makes you wonder.
Amateur.
It's like some behaviors just get normalized.
Especially with teenagers, right?
Yeah, maybe they thought it was just edgy humor.
Or teenage rebellion.
Right.
But still,
It made Sonia and Rebecca uncomfortable.
obviously,
And it's a missed chance,
the chance to what?
to actually deal with a serious problem.
Absolutely.
A problem with his
You
attitude.
said things got worse.
Sadly, yeah.
Their relationship ended in January 2010, is that right?
That's right, Josh broke up with Becca.
And then what?
Started dating another girl almost immediately.
Jeez.
He claimed Becca tried to trick him
Trick him how?
to get pregnant.
Oh, wow.
Becca denied it, of course.
So he's already manipulating, blaming her.
Yeah, classic pattern.
And after the breakup, it got worse.
Oh, yeah, Josh got angrier.
Hmm.
More possessive.
What'd he do?
He wrote stuff on her bedroom wall.
Like what?
Derogatory messages, just awful.
This is hard to hear, but it's important.
It is.
Got to understand what happened
Absolutely.
to understand this whole tragedy.
Right, and around then, Josh started saying things to his friends.
What kind of things?
About killing Becca.
He was talking about killing her.
Yeah.
Seriously?
His friends would say later, oh, they were jokes.
Jokes.
But it was chilling
How so?
how often he said it
Yeah.
and how specific he was.
Give me an example.
He talked about poisoning her,
Oh, God.
pushing her into a river knowing she couldn't swim,
Jeez.
even places to hide her body.
This is giving me chills.
It's scary stuff.
Did anyone say anything to
Yeah.
him? Like, no one intervened.
That's the worst part.
What do you mean?
His friends, they didn't stop him.
Unbelievable.
They actually started suggesting ways to do it.
They were encouraging this.
It's hard to grasp, but it's like the group dynamic took over.
And they normalized the violence.
Exactly a huge missed opportunity.
For sure. They could have stopped him.
Potentially, yeah.
So while Rebecca was trying to move on,
Right.
Josh was spiraling.
Obsessed.
Yeah.
But Becca, she was strong.
Good.
She was doing well in school, had a new boyfriend,
Barely.
named Josh too, actually.
Huh. Small world.
She was moving on.
But he couldn't stand it.
No, he couldn't.
That she was happy without him.
His ego was bruised.
Absolutely.
He was constantly comparing himself to the new Josh,
Like how?
asking Becca if her family liked him better.
That's so petty.
And then He starts hinting at getting back together.
Oh, no.
Classic cycle of abuse.
Hurt her, then act like he wants her back.
To keep her hooked.
So messed up.
It really is. It's complex, dangerous pattern.
Absolutely.
You got the tension building, then the explosion, the abuse,
Right.
then remorse, reconciliation.
Ugh, it traps victims.
Makes them think it's their fault.
So awful.
And that things will get better.
But they don't.
Not usually.
So Becca, she still had hope
Tragically.
that they might get back together.
She did.
Even with all the red flags.
Yeah, she broke up with the new Josh.
When Davy started hinting at reconciliation.
That's right.
It's so sad, but it shows how powerful emotional abuse is.
Absolutely. Victims blame themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They make excuses for the abuser.
They hope for change.
Exactly.
Heartbreaking, drawn back into his web.
And all this time,
yeah.
still talking about killing her.
The jokes kept going.
Kept going.
And his friend.
Still in on it.
God, then it gets even worse a few weeks before the murder.
Right.
Tell me about this breakfast bet.
Okay, so Josh is with his friends, Liam Thomas and Daniel Ninden. Okay.
They're having breakfast, and he asks Liam, casually, what he'd do if he actually killed Becca.
What?
And Liam, he says, I'd buy you breakfast.
Oh my God.
Just like that.
Just a joke.
That's what they'd say later.
But come on.
It's chilling.
Absolutely chilling.
It became a big part of the case, that bet.
Yeah, you think they were just messing around.
Easy to think that.
Teenagers, right?
But it brings up some big questions.
Like what?
About the people around Josh, their responsibility.
Did you do what?
Recognize the danger, say something.
Right.
They were playing a game, detached from reality.
Yeah.
Did they even think about the consequences?
About someone getting hurt.
Exactly. And that lack of awareness.
Yeah.
It had terrible consequences.
So a few weeks later, after that bet,
Right.
Josh actually did it.
He did.
Let's talk about that day, the murder.
October 22nd.
2010, right.
Yeah.
Seemed like a normal day at first.
For Becca, it was full of excitement.
She was looking forward to seeing Josh.
Thinking they were getting back together.
That's right. She even went shopping the day before.
What for?
A new outfit. Wanted to impress him.
It's so sad.
It really is.
She had no idea what was coming.
It's how abuse works, you know?
Yeah.
He tricked her, made her think things were changing.
Back to the way they were.
Exactly. And as the morning went on, Becca got anxious.
Yeah.
Hadn't heard from Josh about their plans.
Okay.
He finally texted around 1 p.m.
And then?
Becca rushed out.
Sonia must have been worried.
Oh, yeah, she had a bad feeling.
Mother's intuition again.
You could say that.
She saw the signs, right?
The abuse, the manipulation, the anger.
But Becca, she was in denial.
Yeah, she told her mom things were different.
That Josh was back to his old self.
Right.
Tough spot for a parent.
It really is.
You want to trust your kid.
But you also want to protect them.
Exactly.
In this case, Sonia was right to worry.
So Becca left to meet Josh.
An hour later, she called her mom.
From where?
The park. She was still waiting for him.
So he's already playing games.
Making her wait.
Controlling her.
Yeah.
And then...
Becca sees Josh coming. Tells her mom she'll talk to her later.
And that was it.
That was their last conversation.
Every parent's nightmare.
It really is.
Sonia knew something wasn't right.
That motherly instinct.
So, what happened next?
Okay, so they go to Josh's house first.
After meeting at the park.
Yeah, they spend some time there.
Becca called her sister from there.
She did. Said things were good.
It's scary how unsuspecting she was.
It's awful.
She had no reason to distrust him.
No reason to think he was dangerous.
Betrayed by someone she cared about.
It's heartbreaking.
Then what?
They left Josh's house.
Okay.
Headed towards these woods.
What were they called?
Cody Agley's.
That's the place Sonia warned her about.
Right. Told her not to go there with Josh.
It's like he lured her there.
Under false pretenses.
Making her think it was just a walk. Then what happened in the woods?
They went to a secluded spot.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly what was said. At some point, Becca turns away from him.
And that's when he attacked.
That's when it happened.
This is where it gets really bad.
It does.
Tell me what happened.
He grabbed her from behind.
Okay.
Tried to break her neck.
Oh, God.
She screamed.
He panicked.
He did.
Then what?
Grabbed a rock, hit her in the head.
It's hard to hear this, but we need to understand
I know.
what she went through.
It was brutal.
What happened after he hit her?
She fell down, but he kept hitting her.
With the rock.
Yeah, he told his friends later
What?
that the worst part was seeing her skull give way.
Jesus.
No empathy. It's chilling.
Totally detached from reality.
Yeah.
How many times did he hit her?
6 times.
God.
Then he saw the rock.
Covered in blood.
Blood and hair. He threw it in the bushes.
Then what?
Flipped her body over.
Why?
So nobody would see, he said.
The blood on her face. He was already thinking about covering it up.
It shows he knew what he was doing.
Premeditated.
It's scary.
What did he do after that?
Left her body there.
In the woods.
Went back to his aunt's house.
Yeah.
Started making up an alibi.
Before anyone even knew she was missing.
That's right. Went on Facebook.
What'd he say?
Said he was chilling out with friends.
Oh, my God.
Then he texted Becca's phone.
Pretending to be worried?
Yeah, urging her to call someone.
That's cool.
He was trying to mislead everyone.
Make himself look innocent?
A total ass.
While Becca's family was worried sick.
Imagine their agony, the not knowing.
It's just awful.
Becca's aunt, Linda.
Yeah.
She had a bad feeling.
About what?
That Becca wasn't coming home.
She told Sonia this.
She did.
Wow, that connection.
Family knows sometimes.
So many unanswered calls.
Yeah.
Finally, Sonia called the police.
Right. Reported Becca missing.
And the search began.
But it was already too late.
So the police, where did they start?
Their first thought, Becca went to a party.
Okay.
And was just, waiting to sober up.
But Sonia knew better.
Right. She knew that wasn't Becca.
Not her style.
At all.
Especially after, what was it, a bad experience with alcohol?
Yeah, the summer before.
So much time wasted.
Looking in the wrong places.
While Sonia's trying to find her.
It's frustrating.
The people closest to Becca not being taken seriously.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
About how we judge who's believable.
Yeah, and about really listening to families.
Sonia finally got a hold of Josh.
At his grandmother's.
And he lied, of course.
Lied about everything.
Saying he hadn't seen her.
Even suggested she might be with the other Josh.
Josh Humphrey.
That's the one the boyfriend Davies made her break up with.
God, he's so manipulative.
It's chilling knowing what he did.
And still lying.
Cold as ice.
But Sonia, she remembered their phone call.
The one from earlier that day?
Yeah.
She called him out on it.
What'd she say?
Asked him straight up. Were you lying when I was on the phone? He hesitated.
Then what?
Denied it. Stuck to his story.
While Becca's family's waiting.
Just awful.
When did they find out the truth?
The next morning.
That's when they found Becca.
Sonia got the call from the police.
I can't even imagine.
Heartbreaking.
How did they find her?
It was Liam Thomas.
The friend.
The one from the breakfast bet.
He's the one who told them.
It's complicated.
What do you mean?
Liam, he felt guilty.
About?
Realized how serious it was.
Okay.
He told his parents about Josh's plan.
And his dad called the police.
Right away.
Tough decision.
To turn in a friend.
But the right one.
Yeah. So they found Becca in the woods, face down.
That spot Josh took her to.
That's right.
So they arrested Josh and Daniel.
At first, yeah, I thought they were both involved.
Trying to pin it on each other?
Separate rooms, blaming each other.
What about Liam?
They let him go.
Even though he knew?
It's tricky legally.
He knew about the plan.
But he helped them find Becca.
So they took that into account.
It seems that way.
What about the trial?
Started in June 2011.
A lot of pressure, I bet.
Small community.
Yeah.
Everyone wanted answers.
Justice for Becca.
The prosecutor, Greg Taylor, he built a strong case against Josh.
Focused on what?
The breakup, the abuse, the threats.
And the fact that he planned it?
Exactly. Premeditation.
What about Josh?
He said he was innocent.
Even with all the evidence.
Claimed Daniel was the killer.
But the prosecution had witnesses.
Becca's friends testified.
About what?
The abuse they saw, the things Josh said.
That he wanted to kill her.
Yeah, it was powerful testimony.
Corroborated what Sonia said.
Right, they saw his behavior firsthand.
Controlling, abusive.
Sonia testified too.
I can't imagine.
Talked about Becca at their last conversation.
She said, "Bye, Mom. I love you."
It was heartbreaking.
So brave of her.
To face him in court.
Remind everyone, Becca was a real person.
A daughter, a sister, a friend. What did the defense say?
Tried to say Josh was just a troubled kid.
Come on.
Said his threats were empty.
Just talk.
A way to deal with his anger.
Weak defense.
It backfired, actually.
How so?
When they were questioning Sonia,
okay,
Josh's lawyer, he asks her,
yeah,
could Becca swim?
What?
Sonia said no. The lawyer, he just stopped.
Weird.
It was a gamble, and he lost.
I don't get it.
Josh had talked about drowning Becca.
Seriously?
In a quarry or a lake.
Knowing she couldn't swim.
That's right.
So the lawyer accidentally revealed that.
He did.
Proving premeditation.
And a plan.
Wow, what a mistake.
The prosecution also showed those texts.
The ones between Josh and his friends?
Yeah, talking about the breakfast bet.
And how to kill Becca?
There was also forensic evidence.
Like what?
Fibers from Josh's jacket.
On the murder weapon.
It all added up.
So the verdict?
Guilty of murder.
After how long?
3 days of deliberation.
Justice for Becca.
The judge, he had some strong words for Josh.
Like what?
Called him devious, calculating, controlling.
Wow.
Talked about the pain he caused Becca's family, stealing their chance to see her grow up.
What was the sentence?
Life in prison.
How long?
Minimum 14 years.
That's a long time.
It was the maximum for a minor.
What about Sonia?
She spoke to the press.
Said what?
Called for the death penalty.
Wow.
Said she hoped Josh would never get out.
Understandable.
She was also upset with the media.
For what?
Focusing on the breakfast bet, making it a joke, missing the point.
The abuse, the manipulation.
Exactly, and the violence.
Then, years later, Josh confessed.
In 2018.
Why'd he do that?
No one knows for sure.
Sonia thinks it was for an appeal.
Trying to get out sooner.
Still manipulating her?
Abandoned his confession.
No real remorse.
It makes you think.
It does. What can we learn from this?
To pay attention to the signs of abuse.
Teach our kids about healthy relationships.
Speak up when we see something wrong.
It's on all of us.
Becca's story. It's a wake-up call.
Tragic, but important.
Behind the headlines, there's a real person.
A life lost.
And a family that will never be the same.
Thank you for this deep dive. It's a lot to process.
It is, but it's a story we need to hear.
Absolutely.